Look at the cigar haul that was acquired today. Fabulous. 8 cigars. Drew Estates Factory Smoke Sun-Grown Toros. Hours of fun to be had. Let's pick one lucky contestant from the gleeful hopeful, shall we? Today is going to present a bit of a challenge because of the buffeting wind forces at work right now. Let's see how we fare nonetheless. Hello everyone, Outer Galaxy Man here. I have a cigar but we're not lit yet. That is not a tenable situation. We'll have to correct that immediately. It's a veritable cornucopia of delight today. The wind before... Holy shit. The wind caught the door and slammed it. That's what you heard, not a gunshot. It's a wind catastrophe. It took away the rug, the throw rug, the welcome mat. Welcome myself back in. As I was saying when I was so rudely interrupted by nature and natural forces, it's a veritable cornucopia of delights here today at the Outer Galaxy Lounge. We have, of course, the standard sun-grown cigar there from Drew Estates Factory Smokes. I have some cream cheesed up bagels here. These are the First National bagels. These are really the only bagels you can get at a store. All the other bagels are just glorified dinner rolls. Don't even try them. They're ghastly. And then some jazz and some black coffee, of course. I just picked this album up this morning at Half Price Books. It's Donald Byrd's Blackbird, 1972 or 73. On Blue Note. This is a foray by Mr. Byrd, who is a trumpeter and flugelhorn player. A foray into the world of jazz funk 70s style. I listened to 3 tracks prior to coming outside, and I was quite pleased with what I was hearing. I may react to the album as I have my smoke and so forth. So I was very happy about the price being $3.99. And this was an album I did not previously have by Mr. Byrd. I only had about 4 other Donald Byrd albums. He was one of the Blue Note label stalwarts in the 60s and 70s. And as I glean, this particular album raised the ire of the standard jazz critics who didn't want Mr. Byrd to do anything different than what he had already been doing. A typical reaction of Philistines who don't want people to branch out. We're experiencing a bit of windy weather today, as was predicted by the weatherman. This is going to make smoking a challenge, of course. It can adversely affect the cigar burn, and it was a bit difficult for me to light the cigar initially. I went through 4 matches trying to get this baby going. The first 2 blew out. What do you say we load up some jazz funk here? Because the Outer Galaxy Man loves his jazz and his jazz funk, as it were. It will get him out of his funk, if you will. That's a beautiful Sony LIV CD player portable. Probably the best CD portable player ever made. I think this came out in the 2000s, perhaps the early 2000s, the late 90s. It's still a reliable player. Look at the wind catastrophe taking out the rug again. I don't need the rug to be taken out. It's already been beaten and cleaned. It blew out again, so it's going to be put in here for now. It can't hold its own. Very good indeed. All right. Oh, the wind buffeting forces. Stop it. Well now, I think it's time for us to address the elephant in the room. Except there's no elephant in here, so I can't do it. Don't you just love when people start a sentence with, let's address the elephant in the room, and then they say something and it's not that big a deal? I'm parodying those sorts of things. I'm jamming here, as you can see. So this first track is called Flight Time, 8 minutes 27 seconds, composed by Larry Mizell, who produced the record, I believe. Donald Byrd had a group that he dubbed the Blackbirds. I think this was the first record they made together. It's quite a lineup of people. It's a large contingent. This first opening track is sort of an expansive, funky piece. It sounds like it could have been in a blaxploitation film of the time, maybe Shaft or something. Not that this was, but it's that sort of music. So you pretty much know what I'm talking about. It has a mixture of electric and acoustical instruments. And you hear an electric piano in there, and then the traditional trumpet comes in. I'm not going to distinguish between trumpet and flugelhorn here, as I talk about the record. The coffee became cold due to the wind. I had to go inside and have it re-microwaved. What a disaster. So the second track continues much in the same vein. We have sort of a funky wah-wah sound, and some vocals are kicking in now. It's called Blackbird. It's the title track to the album. It's a pretty easy, chill track. The second track is definitely the sort of thing that someone who likes Weather Report might dig a bit. I think the vocal harmony and so forth is actually dragging it down a bit. But it's a pleasant track. It's a nice, chill track. Alright, now we're on the third track. It's called Love So Far Away, also another Mizell piece. Now this is my speed. This is the sort of thing I like. This has a Latin, Brazilian flavor, a bit perhaps. There's a nice flute kicking in, and this baby's taking off now. Oh yes, this is lovely. This is worth the price of the album. Yes, this sounds a bit like a Stanley Turrentine piece of the era. Very nice. I like this a lot. Oh God, yes. Excellent, excellent. Yes, this third track is cool. As the kids today say, cool as fuck, or cool AF. It's funny when the rhythm is juxtaposed with the vocal of Love So Far Away here. It sounds a bit like Mr. Saxo Beat. Vaguely. Here, would you like a drink? Have some. It's interesting, this third track actually foreshadows disco a little bit, I think. Some of the rhythms in here and some of these syncopations are very disco-like. Without being fully disco, but getting very close. You could put this in a disco hall back in the day and dance to this. Of course, I can't share the actual music with you because of the copyright vultures who have no inkling of the idea of fair use or even promoting their own material. There's the actual cover, without the price sticker obscuring it. So this fourth track is called Mr. Thomas, 5-minute track. It's straight up hard funk with Donald Byrd's trumpet or flugelhorn, I'm not sure which. It's kind of loping over the rhythm very nicely, and now it's changing up a bit into something a little more rising here. Very nice, very enigmatic, starting to soar a bit off the earth. I like that. Oh, this is night music. This is lovely. I wonder if Steely Dan heard this, because there are elements in this fourth track that sound a bit like Steely Dan. It's very nice. I don't know why anyone would get rid of this album. It's quite nice. Unless they got hold of a vinyl or something. People in their bloody vinyl worship. Unfortunately, in many cases, jazz records or CDs tend to become available when people die. Well, so far, this is definitely of its time, which is not a bad thing. Although there are many timeless aspects in it that could have been made at any time. By that I mean today, not prior to this, of course. She's burning rather fast, which is unfortunate. I like to savor it longer, but alright, we're on the fifth track called Sky High, 5 minutes 59 seconds, 6 minutes. Yeah, this is lovely. This is a very sly little piece, very good night music here. Oh yeah, this is a real chill out, almost like a make out track. You could put this on with your girl, man, or whatever you love. Yes, I could see how the jazz purists at the time, who wanted everything to still sound like it was coming from 1956, might take exception to this record, but I find nothing wrong with this at all. I rather like it. The phone is ringing. Blast. Well, I've let my secretary handle that call. No posting no bills around here. No soliciting allowed. No scams, no spam. Well, track 6 is called Slop Jar Blues. Let's see if it gets down and funky. It is a little bit. This is definitely very urban. It's got that funky wah-wah guitar going on. This literally could be the soundtrack of any blaxploitation film of the time. This track would just play through, you wouldn't even notice it because it's so pleasant. Seems to be based on a very simple funk riff that they're kind of going off on. Just nice and easy. Well, that sort of morphed from a funky piece into a bluesy piece, which it ought to since it's called blues. Very nice. No complaints so far. Oh yes, this last track is very nice. Where Are We Going? Track 7, 4 minutes 40 seconds. It's a very sly, very sexy piece. A nice finale for the record, I think. It's a piano coming in there. Nice arrangement. Very simple, very effective though. Donald Byrd sort of soaring above it all, weaving in and out of the arrangement. Flutes coming in now, doing the same thing. Just weaving in and about. Very nice indeed. Very nice album. Very good indeed. Now I will say, one of the weak points of this thing are the vocals that kick in once in a while. According to this, it's Larry Mizell, who is the vocalist. He's also the arranger for the whole album and composed all the pieces, it appears. It gets a little better when the vocal harmonies come in, when you have more than one singer. So there we have it. Donald Byrd's Blackbird, recorded at in Los Angeles in 1972. I'm going to give it a initial rating here of 89 out of 100, I think. It may go up if I listen to it more. The chance of replayability will usually result in a higher rating. Because I don't re-listen to a lot of things, they don't usually grab my attention enough to do so, but I think this one will. So there you have it, Blackbird by Donald Byrd, a jazz review for you, jazz album review. I may do more of these if anybody gives a damn. This is today's report from Outer Galaxy Man, signing off.